And there are some windows with some really big names, and I mean huge names, and we all know them. They tell people how good they are. After being in service for as many years as I have, I know the vast majority of the people that we've served on those windows are saying, well, I'm never going to buy those again.
You're listening to the DORE Podcast, where we spotlight the people, ideas, and businesses keeping Ottawa running. From contractors to real estate investors, entrepreneurs to industry experts, we dive into real conversations and help grow everybody's pie.
Episode 11, Valyria Glass.
We're doing this. Greg.
Where's Joe Rogan? I thought Joe Rogan was supposed to be here today.
Next best thing, or 110 best things. So.
Well.
Hey, Greg, thanks for doing this today. I know you and I were having a chat about doing this podcast, having fun already. We've tested out. We're ready to rock.
You know what? Pleased to be here, and I'm happy to support Dan as always.
So thank you for coming to the DORE Podcast. Obviously, I was just saying this podcast is really meant to talk to anybody in the industry, that we deal with through DORE Property Management or through the sales component or development and whichever, and try to find people that we deal with, highlight them, try to grow everybody's pie, make sure that anybody that has a need or want or that can refer perhaps your service to somebody else. We try to highlight them and bring them to the show and have fun for a few minutes. So,
well, that's a great cause, and we appreciate you calling on us to come and support. Thank you.
Perfect. So, Greg, you're with Valyria Glass.
Yes, sir.
And clearly, so you're a preferred supplier to us at DORE Property Management when it comes to windows, doors, anything related to those things. So can you tell us a bit about Valyria Glass, like what this industry and so on?
Yeah, well, Valyria Glass is I guess for lack of a better term, is a glazing company, whereas we put glass into things. However, glass fits into many different categories. I mean, you've got thermal seal units in homes, the things that keep us warm, hopefully in the wintertime and cool in the summer. You've got interior decorator glass as well. You've got all kinds of things like mirror as well that would go in there, like decorative mirror, showers, custom showers, or another thing, or heavy glass to use as partitions. Those types of things are things that we can become involved with. That's the glazing portion of it. But with glazing, you've also got the service that goes along with it, and you've got all of the hardware and the componentry. Somebody has a window that won't open properly, or somebody has something that just isn't keeping them warm or cool, like a window that's leaking, that type of thing, or a window that won't latch, or a door that won't latch. Those are the types of things that we get involved with. Screens in the summertime to keep the bugs out, rescreening, and all kinds of other projects.
Rescreening.
Okay. Yeah, now service is the forte, but also we've got the other side, which is the new side, which is installation and like sales and installation of new windows, whether it be residential or commercial windows or doors. Yes, we'll do some of those, but our business is not meant to do a huge volume like a construction company. We're a service company, so we appreciate going in and being able to get into a job and get it all finished up and buttoned up in a reasonable amount of time, as opposed to taking a project that takes a year to do something like that.
Fair. Like, I mean, even in the office here, I mean, the front windows, the doors, all the windows between the offices, you guys all supplied.
Yes.
Not these commercial ones here. These are office specific, but you guys played a role in making sure that all of those were upgraded. So, which is great. So what you kind of already touched it there again, but I think it's important to highlight so that Valyria Glass is in terms of positioning, is more of a service-based company as opposed to you're supplying development of high-rise buildings, whichever for new builds, right? So
and the glazing, that our industry is broken down quite significant difference between the two sides, the service side and the construction side. A lot of companies like the construction side because you're dealing with a lot of volume and a lot of money in that particular time. Don't get me wrong, we like money too.
Of course.
But it's, for us, we appreciate being the problem solvers. We enjoy doing the stuff that they don't like to do. We like to come in, we like somebody to call us and say, hey, we've got an issue. We've got something that's not right. We've got water infiltration, we've got air infiltration, or the snow is coming in, or something of that nature. What can we do? Can you guys help? And the answer for us is certainly, let's get over there and see what we can what we can do. And we've spent a lot of time working with companies like yours, property management companies, especially your developers or big property developers and maintenance companies, that type of thing. Because to us, those are people that sometimes are underserved.
And then, so if we hit obviously there's where we talk about different types of clienteles for you. Some people will have their actual homes versus businesses. So homes, I think you've already touched a bit on it, but in terms of if somebody owns a property, like it's a residential property, glass windows, I'm assuming patio doors.
Absolutely.
Anything else in a house that's common for you guys to, because I think you do doors.
We work on, so starting at the front, front doors, our front entranceways, back entranceways as well, including patio doors, and including not only the supply and installation of them, but of the repair of them. Like for example, condensation in sealed units or patio doors that don't roll anymore properly.
Right.
We work on
service on changing.
Yeah, we do all that kind of service, locks and latches for that. So that would be the outside on the door side. The same thing with windows. Any kind of componentry that's involved with windows would involve us as well. Repairs to flashing around the windows or caulking. Important things that are sometimes overlooked, missing or bent flashing or caulking. We can repair that. We can.
How about garage doors? You guys touch
garage doors is not our area of expertise, but if you have a garage door that's got glass in it, that's us. We'll take care of that.
Right. The glass component.
We'll take care of the glass component for them. And if somebody's needing help with that type of thing, and we can help them with a garage door, we'll make a recommendation to people that we know and trust as well.
Okay. And when it comes to businesses, I mean, the services typically, if we step away from residential houses or whichever, like typically what kind of clientele, or what do you do for businesses per se? Well, I'm assuming so pretty much a lot of the same things, but what, any differences there that
well, the businesses are handled in a totally different fashion. Most of our business is done with a preset relationship with a company like yours, where they're used to contacting us mostly by email to tell us of with a work order. In the event of some kind of like a daytime emergency, they'll call and say, "Help! We got a commercial door that's fallen off its hinges and they can't open or close." Yeah, we'll dispatch somebody right away to fix.
So is it 24-hour service too?
It's you know what, we don't do service in the after hours anymore, but daytime emergencies certainly will happily accommodate that. Unfortunately, the costs of things like insurance and all that type of stuff keep us out of the nighttime, so to speak. It was easier in the old days, but not so much.
The good old days.
The good old days.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. But certainly when we take care of everything, we report back to businesses. We'll send an estimator out. First thing that always happens is we get the requested information and we arrange to dispatch an estimator out to look at the issue. We'll book with the occupant, so the property management company doesn't have to worry about dealing with their client to set up an appointment for service.
Sure.
We'll take care of that. And then we'll make that happen. And then we report back to the management company any issues that we found, and trying to be as impartial as possible, and I guess looking to the solution for whatever the issue was.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
And in terms of, I mean, somebody has windows or doors or whichever, like what is the breaking point when something can be fixed or it's not fixable, you got to replace it?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because that's one of the most frequent questions we get, more on the residential side, but certainly on the business side too. When is it time for me to change my windows? And I'm astounded all the time by finding out people are saying, well, I've got water in between the two panes of my glass, which is of course the sealed unit or the thermal unit. Yeah. There's water infiltration, which means the seal has failed. So I'm getting quotes on new windows, and it seems to me like they didn't last very long. These are only 8 years old, and I'm gonna have to get a quote to get these windows replaced. So that's where we go, time out, stop.
Yeah.
So there's only two real reasons that you actually would want to get new windows. The first is that you have a broken frame. Are any of the vinyl or aluminum or even wood componentry is finished, that's not an economic repair. It's unfortunately a lot of the things, just like if you buy a 2024 Honda and then you have a 2018 that needs a new fender, you can't take one from a 2024 because the same with windows extrusions as well. They're year specific in a lot of cases.
Suppliers too.
Yeah,
you have to
they change.
that supplier. Yeah.
That's right. So the two reasons are, one is you've got an obsolete part or you've got an obsolete window or an obsolete frame. There's something that can't be got anywhere.
Okay.
And in that, of course, is a window beyond economic repair. It doesn't need one thing; it needs everything.
Right.
Then you might want to consider it needs hardware, it needs gaskets, it needs glass, it needs really everything. New flashing, new caulking, everything. It's an expensive repair. So that would be the one reason you need to do it. Otherwise, everything else is repairable. You need new screens, we build new screens from the ground up, that kind of thing. The other one is you're looking for a specific performance improvement. Okay. Like you've got a house and it feels kind of cold and damp over the years, and we've gone ahead and we've put some more insulation in the house, and but the weak point seems to be the windows, and the doors. So.
And what is it like? What's the typical lifespan for windows? I mean, obviously it's a loaded question because
there's some pretty different qualities of windows, and you and I touched on that with you remember I showed you the picture that I actually
I know
here
there's a brand new window.
Yeah, brand new window, and I'm not sure.
Well, we'll put it in attachment. We'll put it.
There's a lot of different qualities when it comes to windows and doors, and a lot of people do shop for value. I appreciate that, but value is the total cost of ownership. It's not how cheap it is to buy it.
Right.
And when you go in and you buy stuff cheap, you often get cheap.
It's not just cheap. I mean, from what you showed me with the picture, these were like essentially brand new windows.
These are, and I mean, from that picture,
in a very like we're not talking years.
No.
Right?
No,
it's within the year.
Yeah.
There's some issues with the quality of those windows. So that's not even, I mean, value aside, I mean, if they warp after a year, it's a huge, and not just that, but then it's the labor involved in replacing them and the warranty and so
everything. Because a lot of times the windows have been finished, like the house has been, or the units have been finished around the windows, and this is a big project, and in this particular case, I don't think there's any warranty on these particular ones. They originated in Asia, and I don't know the exact location, but they originated in Asia, and they're essentially the same vinyl. You have that in that patio chair that all your friends don't want to sit in the backyard when everybody's having a cocktail in the summertime because they know it's going to flip over.
You're the one. You take this chair.
Yeah, you take the chair. No, I'm not going to take that chair, but that's what happens with windows too. So. A good quality window will probably last you 15 to 25 years if it's good quality.
Sure.
A lousy window, I don't know.
Who knows?
It's the same thing like when you have shingles. Same thing on a house.
At DORE, our dedicated leasing team is available 7 days a week because we understand that finding the right rental can be time sensitive. Our leasing matchmakers are here to guide you every step of the way, making your rental experience smooth and stress-free. Inquire today and rent from people who care.
What's 25 years mean?
Yeah, I know exactly.
But a lot of the windows come with a lifetime warranty, and that's important. You hear that word lifetime. That's an important thing to know. But you should be somewhere in there when you're when you're looking at that now. Also, triple glazed, another thing that's come on like gangbusters because it's definitely warmer than regular double glazed windows.
Okay.
And another question we get asked on that is, people will say, well, listen, I've got these windows that are double glazed, and if I put the triple glaze in, it's going to be a lot warmer. And in theory, that's great, except for one thing. You've still got the old frames.
Right.
And the old frames aren't necessarily insulated as well.
Right.
The other thing, of course, is how do they insulate it in the walls? And that's very, very important. I mean, some of the installation methods these days have become very, very good. I mean, like in the old days, we had to use the fiberglass pink with the Pink Panther and sticking it in the holes to try to do it as best as possible.
Yeah.
But now that's been sort of taken over by low expansion foam.
Sure.
And low expansion foam gets in all the nooks and crannies, and it's a really good insulator.
Okay.
And the same thing when it comes to the caulking. Some of the caulkings are very good to help seal things. Things.
So all those things. It's not just the window. It's obviously all the components that makes a lot of sense.
That's exactly right. So as you said before, to sum it up again, how do I know when to change? Either it's obsolete or you're looking for an improvement. Everything else should be repairable.
That's good. And so, so say for example, I don't even know this, but it just pops up to mind. We go in, we have you replace windows, whether they're aluminum frames, vinyl frames, wood frames. Like how are these recycled? Like what happens with these old windows after? Is there
in a lot of like we have a when it comes to our particular situation, the company, the management company we use they're able to recycle some of the materials that are in there, but not everything. If it's aluminum, everybody wants aluminum because aluminum has a huge value, especially clean aluminum.
Okay.
Vinyl, not so much.
Okay.
A lot of that I think is at the end of the day is melted down at the end of the day. So.
And what about wood?
We don't see wood too much anymore.
No, but it's the old windows. So say you go to a house that's 100 years old and they still have wood windows.
In that case, like that, I would refer a heritage restorer for that.
Okay.
Something else you and I talked about. The question that we get asked all the time is, how come my dad grew up and my grandfather grew up with wood windows and they swore by them and they said they were great, and now where did my wood windows go? And the answer and why there's no wood windows today is we don't have any more old growth forests left. We've logged it all. Okay. There's nothing left. We're still logging and we're still getting wood, but we're using biologically engineered forests these days, and that like trees that are meant to grow quickly. Yeah. They're the same height and the same width when they're cutting them down. But if you looked at the rings inside, the rings are far apart.
Actually, now that you say that, you showed me that a while back on the differences. Maybe we can add it to the show notes as a link, because that was an interesting where you actually, now that you say that, I remember you showing me the differences between, an old stock a tree versus something that is grown today, and you were comparing it, and you could see how what the difference is. It's quite
it's pronounced. It's pronounced, and it makes
my gosh,
it does. It throws you, but it's something that's sort of a very realistic show of what it is that's causing the issues. I mean, the old days, a 2x4, like you pick it up, a 2x4x8 was a heavy thing. These days, it's like, it's light, because it's full of air and water, and it's very very in depth.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's like a 15-year-old kid versus a 30-year-old man. 15-year-old kid can be 6 feet tall. Yeah. But a 30-year-old man is usually might be the same.
Fatter.
Yeah, but he's a bit fatter, but he's more robust. He's more robust. It's a good thing I'm a lot older than 30. But then the 15-year-old kid is lanky and usually easy to knock over. So
that's good.
That's it.
So and then can you when you're looking at windows or doors or whichever, and there's usually a quite substantial difference in pricing. Yeah. When you look at them. Yeah. And what is it worth it to go all out, or is it more of a vanity thing to go all out, or is like in your opinion, what you've seen, when you look at different varieties, so you look at a window, you get several components that say, this is much cheaper, but it doesn't have XYZ, or this is really high end, but you're paying for the name brand. Like how does that,
Well, no, that's a really good question. So I always like to go back to the quality thing. As far as vanity goes, I don't believe you have to buy the Rolls Royce of windows. And there are some windows with some really big names. And I mean, huge names, and we all know them. And I'm not going to mention them, but they do an awful lot of advertising, and they've got some big names, and they're sold internationally, and they tell people how good they are. But it's funny, after being in service for as many years as I have, I know the vast majority of the people that we've served on those windows are saying, "Well, I'm never going to buy those again. Those things were expensive, and they broke just like everything else."
Right.
So the answer is buy something that's I like Canadian made. Like and a lot of the windows we're getting here are engineered in Canada. Some things that are important to us. There were a bunch of different extrusion makers. Yes, you can import extrusion from Asia, the Asian vinyl, like the vinyl chair, the non-partying chair in the backyard.
The one that loses the bet.
And those are using. The window manufacturers can buy those things, by the rail car full.
Okay.
And make their windows already made. Just put sealed units in, and the other thing. But if it's not a quality manufacturer, you're going to be in trouble with those things, because a majority of the window manufacturers spend an awful lot of money and time on engineering, making sure that they've got the cells of the windows properly blocked off, so that you're getting a good thermal break.
Yeah, for our climate.
Yes,
well.
Yes. So something that's quality, like for example, like extrusions, either PH or our preferred extrusion is Westlake Royal. If it's Westlake Royal, we know that it's a great vinyl extrusion. When it comes to thermal units, the glass in the thermal units has to be made in a plant that is IGMAC certified, which is like the ISO standard manufacturer of the sealed units. Those are going to last. They're most likely using North American glass, and they're made in a chamber that's overseen by the regulating body, and the quality control is high on those things. So those sealed units are likely to last a lot longer than the ones of like that picture I showed.
Yeah.
Hardware it was dominated by one company. That company is called Truth, just like to tell the truth. The Truth has been around for it's Amesbury Truth, have been around for a long time.
That's a manufacturer?
They're manufacturer. They're still the number one as far as we're concerned.
Sure.
They're still the one we see the most. There are a lot of companies that try to knock it off, that are trying to make knockoffs of their stuff, but they come from Asia. A good example is we had the same manufacturer window had a window lock latch.
Yeah.
And inside it is supposed to be a spring.
Yeah.
And this window didn't have any kind of a spring. It was missing. Something was missing. So we had a deep dive inside and thought, if it's just a spring, we should be able to hook that thing back up. But inside there was no spring. There was a rubber band.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That's to save money, right?
That's crazy.
So you look for something with good quality hardware. So those components, great engineering, good thermal glass, great hardware. You've got a good start, and a lot of the really good manufacturers have a lifetime warranty on their windows.
And I would assume also, because I've been caught with this in a few of my properties as well, where we buy a property, it's already built, and then you realize a little latch breaks, and next thing you know, it's not fixable because you can't get the parts, or that company is bankrupt or no longer in service. And so I'm assuming, and this is my experience, is that if we reach out to replace those windows, that we could have a conversation about making sure that we have a replacement window that does have options to have those parts replaced. Because sometimes you can end up having a $75 service call to replace the spring, and then because they don't have the part, then the next thing you know, you're replacing a $600 window.
Dan, you're 100% right on. That's exactly what happens when you're not. A lot of people don't think about that. There's also windows that have been made that were never made to be serviced. Never made to be serviced ever. Like they were built by a manufacturer. They zipped them together quickly, and away they went. Yes, they're good-looking vinyl PVC windows. But look, it's got condensation in between the panes.
Sure.
Except the thing has been all glued together. You can't take anything apart. There's nothing to take apart.
Right.
It's been vinyl welded together, and so there's no repair path.
So those windows will likely be cheaper when you purchase them,
perhaps.
But obviously, if the lifespan it could be greatly affected if you can't replace if you can't fix them.
Well, nobody wants to live in a house that's cold and damp, or a house that looks unsightly because they can see that it looks like it's raining inside the house.
No, fair enough.
With that, so that's something that has to be certainly addressed.
Looking for stable income-producing assets? At DORE, we help clients buy and sell commercial properties that deliver long-term value. From multifamily buildings to turnkey retail and office investments, let's talk about your next smart move. visit us at doremultiresidential.com.
So I want to piggyback on another comment you made earlier, which I thought was interesting. So say I have an apartment building and I'm thinking of getting windows replaced. We're within that 15, 20, 25 year lifespan.
Yep.
And I'm saying, Greg, listen, I'd like to go in and, if there's a way to make those windows even more, increase the thermal protection or make them even better in order for the units to be more comfortable. Am I understanding correctly that, that obviously just changing the window may not, do the whole thing if there's other issues with that wall, whether it's insulation or how it's, the framing and so on.
Yeah.
And would you be able to make a recommendation before getting that window replaced to say, listen, I can put your best triple glazed window, but if you don't replace the frame or, the insulation in these walls is non-existent, is that a conversation that we'd be able to have before making those decisions?
I want to have that conversation with you, Dan, because the best thing that we can all do together is you can call me and say, Greg, we're going to look at this building here and want an honest opinion on what's going on with these windows. Can you give us your thoughts?
Sure.
And I'll arrange to send most often Patrick, and Patrick's our most experienced guy on this stuff, and he'll look at a bunch of the different componentry. He's got 360 vision when it comes to windows and doors, and he'll check the sealed units, of course. He'll check the hardware, the operation, the latches.
Sure.
He'll also look at the moldings, and he'll look for things like around where the jam extension is, which is the distance between the edge of the window frame and the inside wall.
Okay.
It's that little edge. That's called the jam extension. Sometimes those things are full of water, or you can see where they're swelled. It's because there's some kind of leaking going on.
Sure.
So these things, but we can determine these things ahead of time and say to you, okay, listen, we can give you a report to go ahead and do that and say, okay, look, before you go in, like it needs 11 windows, or if you want to go ahead and change this 6 sealed units, you can change to. There's 3 cranks and a bunch of weather stripping and a bunch of caulking.
Yeah.
Yes, and you can save it. And our eye is to go in there to try to save what you got as opposed to replacing.
Sure.
The replace is the last option.
Yeah, because nothing worse than going down this journey of thinking you're going to increase some type of seal or making the units more comfortable without realizing that you replace these windows, but if the frames or something else is off, then you're not going to get the full benefit. So it's good that we can lean on you for advice.
Cool. Yeah, that's our pleasure. It's our pleasure, and where our expertise lies is in stuff like that, because it's to be of service to people like yourself and make sure that we're helping cover you. Because if we weren't, we wouldn't have a job.
Yeah. No, fair enough. And as we were, we were prepared for this podcast, one of the questions that we thought that we'd bring to the audience as well is a common one for us, and I think you kind of chuckled when we talked about it, whereas sometimes you'll have a somewhat fairly new, house or building or whichever, and you get, minus 35, 40 degrees outside, and then we get complaints because there's water, accumulating on the windows, and so perhaps you can, dive into that, because I think you and I both were like, we know about that, because a lot of times the issue that comes to mind for, the occupant is they think that the windows are defective or there's something wrong.
Well, yeah.
Right? The condensations inside.
Yeah. So, let's take ourselves to a happy spot in the middle of February right now. You and I are looking outside into this beautiful parking lot, but we'll pretend that we have a nice table out there and we're listening to some music in the background, and we've got a couple of our favorite beverages.
And you're sitting on that plastic chair, right?
No, I've been there before. Anyways.
You lost a bet.
But it's hot out there, and our beverage has, on the outside of the glass, our ice cold beverage has water on the outside of the glass. And that's just simple physics.
Yep.
The warm, moist air is drawn towards the colder surface and it condenses, so you've got water on the outside of the glass.
Right.
So let's come back inside your house or your business in the wintertime. You have inside the home warm, moist air. And that warm, moist air will always be drawn towards the cooler and coldest surfaces. So there are some things that, and homes are built tight these days. They, like the new building code, in the old days, homes used to be drafty. The air would flow right through them.
Right.
Not anymore. They're tight. So the moisture stays inside. It's incumbent upon the homeowner or business owner to ensure that they keep the moisture under control, especially
You mean inside
the inside environment under control, especially as the temperature drops. The colder it gets, the closer that water wants to get towards that window, or it could be a door.
You're talking a dehumidifier.
Yeah, you may need that, but
depending on.
Yeah, the first thing you would need to know though is what is my humidity level? What is my humidity level supposed to be?
Sure.
And we have a document that we authored,
brought in,
which we'll share with your people.
And you will put it in the show notes. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And there's to help it a little bit. I illustrate what we did is this document that we drew up to tell people about ensuring their humidity was under control, especially in the wintertime. Was I backed it up with one of our major builders in the city.
Sure.
Their humidity guidelines, because you got to be careful. You don't want to have too little humidity either, but you've got to be able to keep it at a specific level, because too much, you ever have hardwood floors? Hardwood floors end up cupping based on humidity. But the other one, of course, is what happens if you're sitting inside your nice house, you're going to get together, all your friends are over on the holidays, and next thing you know, everybody's in the kitchen talking, and people are going, "Hey, the patio door's got ice all around it, and what's going on?" Well, it's just simply there's too much humidity inside. And it's being drawn towards the colder surface. It's not a fault of the window. The window's doing its job.
So the windows in most cases, it's not really, that's not the issue, is not the window, it's just the humidity level inside the dwelling.
Yeah, like we had a call about 3 weeks ago from a person who said, I need an opinion. I need an expert opinion. And we said, well, you didn't call the right place. I'm no expert, but I'll give you an opinion. I'm just kidding. But I said, what's the issue? And he said, well, I went ahead and I had new windows put in. I had very high quality windows put in. I put $44,000 on the windows in my home. So it must be a big home, must be a nice home. And he said, there's condensation all over everything. So I went through this condensation exercise and determined that he's got way too much humidity in his home.
The unit, in the house.
Nobody likes to, in the wintertime, likes to be in a house that's dry. Like nobody likes that. I mean, your face is dry, your nose is dry, your skin is dry. It feels pretty uncomfortable. The same can be said for moisture too. There's a fine break in between the two of them where there's comfort, right? So you've got to manage that, because otherwise, if you don't manage it, you're going to have condensation. But also critical are things like airflow, making sure that you've got airflow so the air can evaporate. You know? And that type of thing.
No, that's good. It's good to know.
Yeah.
The other thing, then we'll use a live work order, something we've worked on together. Whereas at one point, we had a tenant contact our service department and essentially indicate that there was water coming in through the window. And, so we called you out and you guys went over, and there was really no issue with the window per se, but this famous ice damming that you guys pointed out that maybe you could just highlight that, because I thought it was an interesting thing where, when we're going through the checklist of what the issue was, we were assuming there's something wrong where window was, with the exterior rain was
natural.
Actually
natural. That's a natural opinion, and most people feel the same way. Yeah, my windows are leaking. There's something wrong with my windows. Get over here and fix these things immediately. Except for one thing, the problem is not your windows at all. Your windows are perfect.
So give us a scenario, just so for somebody listening in, like what would that typically look like?
Okay.
Because now you know it, I've experienced it. Obviously, we've experienced it. Just from an occupant standpoint, like what does that look like? You're inside the unit, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!"
The first things they might notice is water dripping in out of the ceiling or out of a light fixture. Like where the heck is that coming from? Then the header of a window. Like the water's running down. It's running down all the way from the header or the lintel underneath, and it's coming through. And I've got rusty water because the cast iron lintel up there, right? I've got rusty water running down there, but it's coming inside and it's coming through at a great volume. So what is that? What the heck happens? How does that happen? Well, ice damming is a pretty unique thing. It's a perfect storm, shall we say. And it's one thing acts upon another thing, which causes something else to offset. And the water infiltration is the catastrophic event at the very end. So the first thing that happens is weather changes. We go from summer to winter, and we've got some snow buildup. And the wintertime sometimes changes. Of course it changes. You'll get some days are around freezing or above freezing. Some days are like 25 below. And the weather's changing all the time. Underneath that, of course, you've got your shingles that have been put on by hopefully a qualified roofer that's done that.
Yep.
And many shingles, but not all, have an ice and water guard or ice and water barrier underneath.
Yeah. Yeah.
At a minimum, it's supposed to go up about 3 or 4 feet. But some of them have complete covering. Like in my own home, I'm completely covered with a water shield. And but it's not the shingles' fault either. What's happening is the weight of the snow is compressing to ice
At the edge.
exacerbated and made worse by the fact that perhaps you don't have enough insulation in the ceiling above in the attic. And so what's happening is the warm air inside the attic is hitting the underneath of the substrate, and it's letting that snow turn into ice, especially if the temperature gets colder. So the ice has to go somewhere. It's sometimes anchored if it's an eaves trough, sometimes anchored in the eaves trough. And it's only got one way to go. It forces itself up.
Professional, reliable, local. DORE Property Management has been Ottawa's choice for 20 plus years. Call 613-227-0000 or visit dorerentals.com.
So it builds a ledge, and then next thing you know,
It's
water,
going back.
instead of going out backing up into the shingles, and then it makes its
Under
way
the
in.
shingles, and then right down to the substrate, and it's dripping through from the wood and the plywood and or aspenite, whatever your substrate is of your roof.
Yep.
Saturated, dripping through, and it's running down. Water's sneaky son of a gun. It takes the path of least resistance. Quite often the window is the victim.
And would it be fair to say that the remedy to that is just proper insulation?
Well,
in most cases.
Well,
in the
immediate.
attic.
So a couple things have to be
Well,
done immediately.
when that happens, obviously that there's immediate action.
So immediate actions are not the homeowner, not the business owner. Don't get up on the roof. Hire a roofing company, for example, to come out and to take the snow and ice off the roof in the meantime, just to get it off, just to sort of stop things a little bit. The second thing, of course, is to get somebody in to dry things out, because if you don't dry things out, you're going to have all kinds of nasty things like the M word, mold, and nobody wants to talk about that. So you've got to get that dried out. The next year, when it comes around before the next winter. And your attic is dry, get insulation brought up to standards, get it insulated better. And then if your shingles have been damaged by the ice damming, you've got to get somebody in there, qualified roofer, not Joe the roofer. Not that there's anything wrong with Joe the roofer, but a qualified roofer to go up there and to make the effective repairs. And if your shingles are older and they're loose and they're worn, then you have to investigate that as well, the possibility of having to do that because of the damage it's caused. The one thing we also hear is, I don't care about ice damming. I got insurance for that. Well, insurance companies do not cover ice damming. Ice damming is considered wear and tear. And it's something that's an owner's responsibility. And it's like a building deficiency.
Right.
And I don't think I've ever seen a case yet where ice damming was covered by an insurance company.
Yeah, I guess
everyone was an owner pay. So and that's just no fun. So we don't want any owners to pay for anything.
we've got some guys that can do the assessment for roof insulation, all that too as well. So
most of us would rather
learned.
Most of us would rather be Smokey the Bear, prevent forest fires,
of course,
before being firefighters.
Of course, it's great. It was just interesting how a call that seems to be a window issue became something completely different that had nothing to do with the windows.
Very much.
So as a last question, because you've been very generous with your time, and I knew this would be a fun talk, and you and I can chat for a long time, but. As an owner of a building or a house or, any type of real estate where you have windows, doors, or whichever, is there anything that can be done as preventative maintenance in order for, to prolong the use, or just as regular maintenance? Like what are those things that you would recommend to investors that own buildings to have done, or
I'm glad that's a good, really good question. A lot of times, this is going to go back to the Smokey the Bear comment. A lot of times, people wait until something happens before they act. A good preventative maintenance program, ensuring that windows, for example, hardware works, the windows close properly, your weather stripping or gaskets are there, not ripped, not torn, not damaged, are working. Have somebody have a look at your caulking on a regular sort of it doesn't have to be like a regular basis every year, but every couple of years. And then.
And you guys do the caulking?
Oh yeah, okay. We'll do caulking as well. We'll do anything that it takes to try to preserve.
Sure.
Like I said, in the end, it would be replaced, but we'll try to preserve what you've got to protect your investment. So, also you've got to keep your mind and keep your eyes open for water infiltration. Anywhere that you think you might have a little bit of water infiltration, don't wait till the big damage is done. If you think there's been a little water infiltration, call somebody to investigate. Call us to investigate. Anybody like us to investigate, because the farther along you go, the more expensive it gets. Like the more people you're going to have involved, and the more professionals. You certainly don't want to hire an engineer, having to hire an engineer or a company that has to deal with mold remediation or that type of thing.
Yeah, that's your review.
And these are things that you like to stay away from. So if you just had the stuff checked, and then to make sure that somebody reports back to you and tells you. So as a business owner and a homeowner, you know where you stand.
Right.
There's no surprises. So you're not going to get. You sit down, you do your budget, and you figure what things are going to cost for maintenance and where we projected need to be for everything, and all of a sudden, wham! You get slammed by a big bill on something.
Yep.
If somebody's reporting it to you and you have a copy of it, at least you can have some confidence that it has been checked, and yes, these are fine, and no, there's no water infiltration or air infiltration.
No,
and
good.
And they're good with that. But those are the types of things that are important, and of course, having some kind of a plan for the following winter, because we're already here now, to make sure that somebody is taking the snow and ice off your roof. It doesn't cost a whole bunch. Maybe it would have to be done once or twice a year. Most roofers are off in the wintertime. They're looking for something to do, and it's not terribly expensive to knock snow off somebody's roof.
They can do it safely. They got they've got the
harnesses. They've got the harnesses, and they've got the insurance.
Jumping on the roof without.
I can't emphasize enough. Do not go up on the roof yourself. Please don't go up on the roof yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a drone, take your drone up there and let it have a
Mike to go take his drone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That's what I'd recommend. So
Perfect.
And that would be good with that.
Greg, anything I've missed? Perhaps that you think that
I think for today, I think we've covered a lot of it. We've covered a lot of territory, and
I think it's been
there's always going to be something we're going to miss, and if we can think of whatever that is, I'll come back and talk to you again.
We'll take two.
Yeah, we'll do a take two some other time, and I do want to see Joe Rogan next time. You promised. No
guarantees there.
No, I'm just kidding. But I enjoyed very much.
I appreciate that.
Spending time with you.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for taking the time to educate us all.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the DORE Podcast. If you're an entrepreneur or investor focused on real estate in Ottawa, we want to hear from you. Apply to be a guest and check out our video content anytime on YouTube.